Have you ever loved someone so deeply that losing her felt like the world ripped something out of you? You know that quiet ache, the sleepless nights, the endless overthinking, the ghost of her voice replaying in your mind. Yeah, that pain. But let me ask you something. What if I told you that the very pain that broke you could be the same force that makes women chase you later? What if heartbreak isn't the end of your story, but the beginning of your strength? Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe and like this video, because if you stay with me till the end, this could change the way you look at love, attraction, and yourself forever. See, most men don't understand women because they don't understand themselves. They chase approval, attention, and affection, hoping she'll fill the hole inside them. But she can't, because that hole isn't about her. It's about your lack of peace with yourself. You probably remember the first time she started pulling away. Those subtle changes, shorter texts, colder tone, longer replies. You told yourself it's nothing. But deep down, your gut screamed the truth. She was gone emotionally long before she left physically. You tried harder, more messages, more calls, more attention. You thought love meant try more, but the more you tried, the faster she drifted. And when she finally left, you weren't just losing her, you were losing your identity. That's where Stoicism enters the story. Because when everything outside of you falls apart, there's only one place left to rebuild: inside. The shocking truth that makes 95.7% of women chase you is not looks, money, or charm. It's emotional control. The silent strength of a man who no longer needs her to feel whole. Let's dive into that. Point 1, the power of emotional control. The fire she can't put out. Every woman is drawn to one thing above all: not money, not status, but a man's calm. When life shakes, she wants to see if you stay steady, because your emotions tell her whether you lead your mind, or your mind leads you. Remember those days after the breakup? Your mind was chaos and refreshing her social media, hoping for a message, replaying memories. You thought of her laughter, her scent, her little jokes, and you burned inside. That fire was real. But Stoicism teaches something radical. You can't stop the fire, but you can master it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you'll find strength. That means when she pulls away, when the world rejects you, your peace is still your responsibility, not hers, not anyone's. So you stop reacting, you breathe. You feel the pain, but you don't act from it. And in that moment, you evolve, because the man who controls his emotions doesn't suppress them, he directs them. Here's the crazy part. Women feel this difference instantly. A man in control of his emotions radiates safety and power. He becomes the storm she can't shake. While others chase, he stays still, and that stillness pulls her back like gravity. She begins to wonder, why isn't he affected? Why is he so calm? And that curiosity turns into attraction. Not because you're playing games, but because you've outgrown need. That's emotional control. That's the first step in the Stoic path, turning pain into power. Point 2, purpose bigger than her, the magnetic force of meaning. After heartbreak, men often lose direction. You wake up, check your phone, and realize that there's no good morning text anymore. The silence hits like thunder. You feel empty. But here's the truth. The world doesn't stop when she leaves. You do. That's why Stoicism demands you find something greater than her, a purpose. Because when your purpose is bigger than any woman, you stop orbiting around her gravity. Think about this. When a man walks with purpose, he doesn't need to chase love. He becomes love in motion. Women sense it, the same way they sense weakness. Seneca once said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." And that's what most men do. They scatter their energy chasing validation. But a Stoic man is different. He channels that energy into his mission. Maybe it's your career, your craft, your health, your growth. It doesn't matter what it is as long as it's yours. Because purpose heals heartbreak. Purpose silences pain. Purpose builds presence. And when you start walking towards something that fulfills you, she'll feel it. Your vibe shifts. You no longer look at her to define your worth. You look at your reflection and see a man evolving. And ironically, that's when women start noticing again. Because nothing is more attractive than a man too focused on his destiny to be desperate for attention. Point 3, the art of letting go. Freedom that creates attraction. Here's the hardest truth you'll ever face. You can't control who stays or who leaves, and trying to hold on is what keeps you in chains. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate. It means to love whatever happens, even the pain. After your breakup, you probably begged the universe for answers. You wanted to know why she left, why she changed, why she stopped caring. But what if it wasn't punishment? What if it was redirection? You see, letting go isn't about forgetting her. It's about releasing your need for control. It's realizing she was never yours to keep. She was yours to experience. Every tear, every sleepless night, and that's not weakness. That's transformation in motion. When you stop trying to rewrite the past, you create space for the future. And in that space, peace grows. Women can sense this peace. They see it in your eyes, the way you move, the way you no longer flinch at her name. And that peace becomes irresistible. Because true power isn't holding on, it's walking away with grace. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you've stopped trying to control the uncontrollable. And that is pure attraction. Point 4, the aura of presence, the energy that draws her in. Presence. That's the invisible magnetism that Stoic men carry. It's not what you say, it's how you exist in the room. Most men are physically there, but mentally elsewhere. Overthinking, overanalyzing, seeking validation. But a Stoic man, he's still. He listens. He observes. He's fully here, like time itself slows around him. Presence isn't arrogance. It's awareness. It's knowing that every breath, every moment, every word matters. When you speak to her, you don't rush. You don't try to impress. You just are. And that stillness and that grounded energy is what drives her crazy. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's presence. You stop trying to prove and you simply embody. You look her in the eyes, not with hunger, but with calm curiosity. You don't chase, you connect. You don't react, you respond. And she feels it. The peace in your tone, the quiet confidence that says, "I've seen pain. I've survived it. And I'm still standing." That's when she begins to feel something deeper than attraction, admiration. Because real men don't demand attention. They earn it through presence. Point 5, the Stoic mindset shift, becoming unforgettable. Now here's the final truth. The mindset that makes you unforgettable. You must become the man who no longer chases love, but attracts it effortlessly through self-mastery. The Stoics weren't emotionless robots. They felt deeply but they refused to let emotions rule them. They believed that peace and power come from within, not from external validation. So when you practice Stoicism, you stop asking, "Why didn't she love me?" and start asking, "How can I love myself better?" You stop saying, "She left me," and start saying, "She freed me to become who I'm meant to be." You stop dwelling on what's gone. You start building what's next. This shift changes everything. Because once your peace is self-sourced, nothing and no one can take it. And that independence, that calm confidence, it's magnetic. Women chase that, not because you manipulate them, but because you've become what they crave, a grounded man in an ungrounded world. You'll start noticing it. How they look at you differently, how they listen when you speak, how they mirror your calm. That's the Stoic effect. You didn't become colder, you became clearer, and that clarity makes you unforgettable. Conclusion. So here you are, standing in the silence that once broke you, but now it's not empty. It's peaceful. You understand that attraction isn't about chasing women, it's about mastering yourself. You understand that heartbreak wasn't your end, it was your rebirth. You've learned emotional control on the fire you now master. You've found purpose bigger than any love story. You've let go of what you can't control. You've learned presence, the art of being here now. And you've shifted your mindset, from needing love to becoming love. That's the shocking truth. When you stop chasing, they start noticing. When you stop needing, they start wanting. When you stop losing yourself for love, you become the kind of man love chases naturally. So if you're ready to live with unshakable confidence, calm power, and magnetic energy, start walking the Stoic path today. And remember, she wasn't the lesson, you were. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.